This Peugeot 208 cost over 4,000 euros more than the last one we reviewed. But the big question is it worth 4,000 euros more? So if we have a look at the front of the Peugeot 208, we can see some slight differences. So from the front, it still looks like the same car with the same headlights, but there's a pretty big difference. This model, the Allure model being, has the Peugeot LED technology headlights, and they look the same from the outside. But if we open the car, we can see that we have electric mirrors and the headlights are in fact LEDs. So it makes a big difference when you're driving and it looks the part. Right, so having a look at the side profile of the car, we can see there are a few main differences. In this case, the color is way different than the last one we had, and this does look a lot better. We still don't have keyless go on the car, which would be a nice option to have. We do have electric mirrors and tinted windows at the back, which makes this car looks a lot better in my opinion. We still don't have the badge which shows which model you have, and even though it is an Allure model which you pay 4,000 euros more for, including the options that this car has, you still have nothing to show for it. So in the case of this Peugeot, we have 16-inch wheels with Michelin tires at the front, 16 inches, two-tone color, black and silver. In my opinion, it does look very good, and it does have some okay brakes on it, but most of the time you really have to push very hard to stop this car. So in my opinion, the brakes really need an upgrade. Alright, so taking a look at the back of this Peugeot, we can see multiple things. First of all, again, the tinted windows at the back. Something that is different on this car is the backup camera, which we have right here. The bumper is still plastic and wobbly as always. In this case, we do have parking sensors at the front and the back. And you can see a very little subtle exhaust at the back. And something which may represent a diffuser, but it doesn't work. Alright, so the boot of this car is way too tight, and usually people don't dislike tight things, but this is not good. So most people like some connections in their car, and even though I cannot open this thing, the biggest problem I have with this car is the engine. So in this engine bay we have a 3-cylinder. This is a 3-cylinder. So in this car we have a 3-cylinder 1.2 liter petrol engine, which puts out 75 horsepower. The 0 to 60 in this car is yes. Don't expect a lot from it, and if you can upgrade to a car with a bigger engine or the electric model which has more horsepower, then I would definitely recommend it. Alright, so getting in the back of the Peugeot 208, there are definitely some things we noticed. First, the tinted windows. We have different seats than from last time, and what do 4,000 euros of options actually get you in this car? So you do get optional upgraded seats, which do sit a lot better. We have 2 USB-C ports in the back. Headroom is still the same as the last car. Knee room, still the same as the last car. If you're over 6 foot, you're definitely gonna struggle. There's no armrest in the back. There's no lights in the back. And yeah, that's about it. For the driver, we do have a big digital dash which shows a lot of data and has like this 3D hologram at top which shows down at the bottom. It looks very cool. It looks very futuristic. We have this big navigation infotainment system with climate control and a lot more options than the previous car had. So in terms of looks, it does look a little bit different. It doesn't feel too different to be in this car, so it doesn't feel like you're having a car which is worth 4,000 euros more. But the features like the dash, the armrest, the bigger display, it does give you a little bit of a more luxury feeling in this car. We also have keyless go. So we don't have keyless entry, but keyless go in this car. And we have some different compartments where you can store some stuff. Alright, so let's have a little drive in this more expensive model of the Peugeot. It's very lit up in the car, as you can see. This is not really standard. At the moment, the car does have Apple CarPlay, but as I'm filming with my phone, I'm not using my phone, so we don't have CarPlay at the moment. But yet again, we can have a look at the rear-facing camera, the climate control of the car. In this case, this is the standard infotainment screen you have, and also the bigger gauges in the front. And starting off, I do have to say the car is as slow as the last one. Only in this case, the springs are a bit more comfortable. So if you're going over bumps or speed bumps, it does feel a bit better, a bit more smooth. In my opinion, steering is the same. Gas response is as slow as it was in the car before this one. So it does drive a little bit more comfortable, but it's not really like a different car in this case. So nothing really to add on it. It's pretty quiet when you're driving on low speeds. If you're driving on the highway over 60 miles or 100 kilometers an hour, it does make a lot of wind noise. So it'll probably drive you a bit crazy on longer journeys, and you do have to really put your foot down if you want to make a little bit of speed in this case. So yet again, 0 to 60, the answer is yes, but don't expect too much from this car. It is pretty fuel efficient though, because it's a small motor, only 3 cylinders. So yeah, if you're not a driver with a heavy foot like me, then you will get a good 6, 7, maybe even 800 kilometers out of this car. If you're just driving highway miles on on motorways like 80 kilometers an hour. So whatever floats your boat. I would prefer something with a little bit more horsepower, but overall it's okay, it's fine. Alright, so as you can see, this is the actual POV night drive of the car. It does have some lights on the steering wheel and on the center console here, so it isn't very dark in the car. And even though the lights are white, which a lot of times do blind your eyes kind of like a little bit, some cars with ambient lighting you can turn them red, blue, purple, and it's a bit of a more chill color to look at night. The white ones usually are very blinding in the evening, but as you can see, these ones are pretty dimmed. So at the same time, they don't blind you, but it's also a bit hard to see in this case. I'm hoping the camera picks it up well, but nothing really to complain about. It's okay, and you're kind of getting what you're paying for, so it's nothing major in this case. But it's a fine night drive. It isn't a Mercedes AMG, but it gets the work done. The big question, is this Peugeot 208 worth 4,000 euros more with all the options on this car? I don't think so. It does really drive a bit different, it feels different, it feels a bit more luxurious. Is it worth 4,000 euros? In my opinion, not. Should you buy the cheaper model? Again, in my opinion, not. If you're buying this car, I would buy the electric version, or buy the Renault Clio, or the Toyota Yaris, or maybe even the Volkswagen Polo. But this specific model, it is a bang for your buck, but it isn't the most comfortable city car to drive in every day, in my opinion. So if you're looking for one, go take a test drive, have a look for yourself, and I'll see you all in the next video.